How's it going, guys? Welcome back on another live stream. Now, this is the second video or the second content I'm producing today. If you add my live stream yesterday, because I started around 9 or so, all the way into 12 midnight, which is the New Year's. Oh, before I go further, welcome right into 2026. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. It is now officially 2026, the very first year, the very first day of the year. I hope you guys enjoyed it with your friends and family. I hope you're doing great. I hope that everything you auctioned or everything you planned this year will come to fruition. So long as you're not hurting anybody else, I hope it comes to fruition. Now, without further ado, the talk on Steel Ball Run is quite vivid. You know, everybody's speculating. The anime world, the JoJo's Bizarre audience cannot wait for this, because it's been at least, I think, a year or two since the previous 6th season ended. And the way it ended, it was so bizarre that everything resetted. So since everything has resetted, since everything is now back to normal, are we in another universe? Or what's going on? You know, I know this is a live stream reaction of the trailer that I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it in a moment. But I just wanted to give us a prestige. I do understand that manga readers are already ahead of time. This is just, you know, if you want to get a perspective in, so long as you're not really spoiling much, it's all good. All right. Now, this trailer did come out 12 days ago. For some reason, I wasn't aware of it. A lot of stuff going on. I have a lot of stuff I'm doing. But the trailer has been out since, it's been 12 days, if I'm not mistaken. I checked. I'm not sure if some of you got it earlier. But right now, I do have the video. I'm going to check it out and to see what this new trailer is about. Because I do know that as they go on, as things go, as things progress, as we approach the release date, more trailers will be revealed. I don't even think that this particular trailer is going to be the final trailer. There might be another one, but I'm hoping that this particular trailer will give us a grounded, detailed information on what's to come. I know sometimes they expose everything in trailers or in opening, but, you know, to give us enough to kind of know what is happening, because as it stands, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure how things are going to fare out. I'm still going to look into the article a little bit to check things out and see how things is going to progress, at least to get a description on the story. But let's check out the trailer. Because the first trailer they released was a tease, okay? It was a tease trailer. It wasn't really the original trailer, but now they have released the first original trailer. So let me make this available. Let's see what they have for us. Let's see what they have in stock. So the title is Steel Ball Run JoJo's Bizarre Adventure official trailer, Netflix. So this is the official first trailer.
1890年の夏、僕は何かに引き寄せられてここに来た。
ようこそスティールボールランレースへ。人類史上初の乗馬による北米大陸横断レースである。
生まれた時からいつもそばに馬がいた。
拾ったらそれが合図になる。
And that guy looks like a Theo offspring or something. I don't know, man. He looks menacing.
触るな、まだ回転している。
確かに俺の足でもう一度馬に乗ってやる。知りたい、鉄球とあいつのことを。にょ。プロの技ということさ。先が読めた。 俺はこの足のみで大陸を横断して優勝する。必要
It
な
seems
のは
like there's going to be a lot of CGI
やっ
in
ぱ
the
り俺
show.
は本物のラッキーガイだったぞ。このスティールボールランレースは世界中の誰もが体験したことのない競技大会となるだろう。すごい人の数です。
このレースの勝者はこの世のヒーローになるわ。
いける。残り2戦のラストスパート。
制した者に贈られる賞金は5000万ドル。
残された足だけが勝者の条件となる。もっと癖を出して走れ。ジャイロ・ツェペリを指すのはこのジョニー・ジョースターだ。
Yo, why do I feel like Johnny Juster is going to be a menace to other people? The way that guy screamed. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, March. Wait a second. The way this guy screamed his name, it looks like Johnny Juster is going to be a thorn on people's ass. March 1st. Sorry, March 19. First stage. What does that mean? Okay, March 19, 2026, which is this year, first stage. It looks like when they said first stage, I think they mean the first season of the part 7. It seems like this part 7 is going to come in parts. Now, as you guys know me very well, I like to depict stuff and break it down, to kind of give us a little bit more detail in the content, okay? So, this says in the summer of 1890. I was drawn here by something. So, in the summer of 1890, this character, probably Johnny Joyster, he is the main character. I'm going to talk about the quality of the animation in a moment, but let's first of all address what is going on here. Something drew him here. What could it be? Does it have anything to do with the reset that happened towards the ending of part 6? Because we realized that after what happened, it was so gruesome and so bizarre. The bad guy or the antagonist was so difficult to defeat. After his defeat, the whole universe and the cosmos reset it somehow. And when things got back to normal, the characters forgot, there was some type of an information loss. Like they kind of know that there's something happened, but at the same time, they can't comprehend what happened before or prior. They just went their separate ways. And, Jotaro's daughter, of course, survived. Jotaro died on part 6. So would this tie to that? Which is why I'm going to go to the article real quick to kind of read up on the article that I have here. It says, Steel Ball Run is the 7th part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump in 2004 and Ultra Jump between 2005 and 2011. Set in the United States in 1890, the story follows Johnny Joystar, a Paraleague X junkie. Damn, junkie? Speaking of junkie, I remember on part Stardust Crusader, Jotaro wasn't the best teenager to begin with. He was getting in trouble. Remember, he was in jail, right? It looks like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. A junkie and Gyro Zeppeli master in a mystic art named The Spin, as they compete with a vast number of others in the Steel Ball Run race, a mad dash across America for a grand prize of $50 million. Steel Ball Run is the start of a new continuity, separate from parts 1 to 6 of the series. So I guess that answers my question right there. Steel Ball Run is going to be separated. But how much separate are we going to give? Because the last name of the George Stories family still continues. So let's continue with this article. It's going to be separate from part 1 to 6 of the series on top of core features to JoJo's Bizarre, such as stands. The story is marked by many references to the original series. On October 4th, 2024, Vice Media announced that they will begin publishing the manga in English starting from summer of 2025. An anime adaptation was announced by David Production in April 12, 2025. A 47-minute special will air on March 16, 2026, followed by a later release of unknown date. But this article, let me see how old it is. Let me see how old this article is. We got a couple of people in the chat. Welcome, chat. How you doing? Please feel free to give your take on what you think about this new JoJo's Bizarre Steel Ball Run anime. As long as you're not spoiling, because I know some of you guys are manga readers, you know what's about to happen anyway. Just, give us a little take on what you think, because I know that some of you guys are already ahead, way ahead. But if you're not ahead, still please feel free to give your perspective on what you think is about to happen. What kind of animation are we going to get? Because based on the quality of this animation, it really sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. I'm not really big on anime, but come on, I have seen better. Diamond is Unbreakable. No, not Diamond is Unbreakable. What's his name? Golden Wind, I believe, has some of the best animation on JoJo's Bizarre. Second is Stardust Crusaders. Golden Wind animation was just top notch. So I hope Stone Ocean, I don't like the animation of Stone Ocean that much. I believe that Golden Wind and Stardust Crusaders has some of the best animation on JoJo's Bizarre. You can quote me on that. Diamond is Unbreakable isn't bad, but Golden Wind Stardust Crusader is one of my best animation that I've experienced. So going into the article, set in the United States. Okay, I've said that. Steel Ball Run is the start of a new series. Okay, I've read that. On October, okay, I have read that. Okay, let's continue here. For keeping English literature, Sandman is forced to flee his tribe. He's mysteriously outspace his pursuers on horseback and escapes thanks to a mysterious power. Sandman meets his sister near a cliff whose wall is covered in mysterious cylindrical holes and shows her a newspaper headlining regarding the imminent Steel Ball Run race. Steel Ball Run promoter holds a press conference to present the Steel Ball Run, a multi-staged horse race across America with a grand prize of $50 million. Various contestants are coming from all over the world. So, Sandman, Sandman I think is going to be a character in this whole thing. And going back to the trailer, he says that for some particular reason, something drew him to this timeline. Something drew him to here. So whatever it is that drew him to here, whether if it was a portal, whether if it is, he might be Jolene's son, that something happened that drew him here in 1890. You know what I mean? So I know there's more to this article that I'm reading, but I think I will stop it here. I can continue with the article to get to know a little more about this genre. Maybe I should. But something happened that drew him in 1890, and this is where he's going to, live for the. But let's continue with the trailer. So in 1890, 1 second. 1890, San Diego Beach, USA. This marks the first time in human history there will be a horse racing championship across the North America continent. The former genius junkie who became paralyzed from waist. Okay, so that gunshot. So that's Johnny Joyster. He got shot, right? He gets shot probably by a criminal, and now he's crippled. Since that day I was born, horses have always been my side. Sorry, by my side. All right? Pick it up. So this guy, I think he might be the. Hold on, let me see what his real name is. Let me go to the characters. What's up, chat? How you all doing? Hope you guys are having a good time. Please feel free to give me your take on what you think about this steel ball run. I think the trailer animation sucks. Okay, I'm not really big in animation like that, because if you're Berserk fans and if you've watched the old school first version of Berserk, you must be. And if you like that storyline, I'm sure you probably by now you're not that into animation like that. I'm not into animation like that, but based on the fact that I've seen better and based on where we are right now, animes are really doing a good job giving their audience a good quality animation. I think the trailer that they put out, the animation isn't really good to talk about. I know, like I said, I'm more into the storyline, but come on, they can do way better. How are you gonna give us Golden Wind animation and it didn't keep up into Stone Ocean, because Stone Ocean animation cannot be compared to Golden Wind animation or Stardust Crusaders animation. So let's see. Why is this? Steel Ball Run main characters. So this guy in a cowboy hat is Zeppeli. He looks badass. I actually thought he's going to be a spawn of Dio Brando, because we know that Dio, wherever you see good, there's always evil. It's like they just can't get away from each other. You know what I mean? And I think the same thing will follow right into this genre. Joysters and Brando's battles literally will continue. So this is Zeppeli, this guy with cowboy hat, and he says, once you do, that will be the sign. Don't touch it. It's still spinning. And he touches it. And something happens. It's true. I am standing on my own feet. Okay, so after Johnny Joyster, who used to be a junkie, right, touches this spinning ball, something happens because he was crippled, but he touches this spinning thing. Something happens. For some reason, it seems like that whatever power that lies into that spinning ball healed him up, and now he's on his own 2 feet.
確かに俺の
It's true, I'm standing on my own feet.
もう一度馬に
I will ride a horse again. So, Johnny Joyster said before, ever since I was a kid, I have always loved horses. And it dives into the genre or the take of the genre itself because they're giving us that Western vibe. You know, it's going to be a Western content because before they've been everywhere, this time they're going to take us back old school. It's almost like going back to Phantom Blood, almost going back to Phantom Blood situation, you know? So this is the Western side of it. And if you're a cowboy fan, if you love Western content, cowboy movies, I'm sure you're going to enjoy this content as well. Just like I do love cowboy content and Western content.
知りたい
I want to know about the steel ball run and about him. So it seems like there is something about Gyro Zeppeli that interests Johnny Joyster. And it looks like Johnny Joyster doesn't have a stand of his own. It looks like at this point, something needs to happen in order for him to get his superpower. It seems like right now, Johnny Joyster has no clue his bloodline. And again, the article that I read did say that this part 7 is going to be separate. It's separated from part 1 all the way to part 6. But we, the audience, cannot help it to link what we've seen before to what is about to happen. Because we know that throughout from part 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Phantom Blood all the way to Stone Ocean, the battle between good and evil has always been the case. The good Joyster's family trying to stop what Dio and his followers have put out in the world. That's been always the case. And we can't help it but to think about the previous. How did Johnny Joyster exist? We remember back in Golden Wind, Gioino Giovanna didn't really know who he was at the time, you know, but growing up in Italy, he was into a gang or he was around gangs, and for some particular reason, he didn't turn out like his father. He was good. He was a good person, you know, so much so that at the end of it, you can literally tell that he's been through so much. Now, he became the boss, the final boss of the mafia family. You know what I mean? So, and again, if we remember, I'm not sure if Jotaro showed up on Golden Wind briefly. I'm not sure if he showed up. I forgot now. But again, you see, the story changed in this situation. I'm not sure if Johnny Joyster, if we're going to know his family, if he's tied to Jolene in some way, shape, or form, because that would make sense. You know, that will help us out. Because to separate part 1 all the way to part 6 and give us a new story, you know, it has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense, I don't think it's going to help the story. It has to make sense. There has to be some type of a tie in the Joyster's family, because this is Johnny Joyster we're talking about. And we've been it has been ingrained in our mind. The Joyster's family are the good ones. And it looks like at this point, Johnny Joyster doesn't really know who he is. He's going to struggle, and then he's going to gain powers, and he's going to do great things, you know?
鉄球とあいつのことをにゃっプロの技と
The Prince of British Horse Racing, Diego Brando. That's what you call a professional skill. All right. It's like out of providence. You can't make this shit up, you know? out of Providence, right here, we see the last name that we are familiar of, Brando, Diego Brando. That's Dio Brando's offspring or relation or something, you know? And again, the Prince of British Horse Racing. So the British, if we remember, Phantom Blood gave us that British 1886 or 18 something, you know, that old school vibe. If we remember, Phantom Blood was more like it happened in Britain, based on the language, based on the accent of the voice characters and the aura that I perceived. I'm not sure about you. It felt like it's something that happened in England, right? I might be right. I think I'm more right than wrong on that. So it seems like they're kind of taking us back again, but this time not in England, now in United States of America, you know, the western side of things. And now we see Diego Brando, whom we know is got to be related to Dio Brando in some way, shape, or form. And you can see his eyes, his demeanor. Based on Diego's character demeanor, he looks like he's sure of himself. He knows what he's doing. He probably has powers of his own. You know, he doesn't look to me like someone who is clueless. He looks to me that he's sure of himself. He knows what he's doing. He knows his, you know, his bearings, and he's going to do probably rack shit up at some point. And I can see what's coming, you see? Yeah, he can see what's coming. And we see there's a struggle here between him and Zeppeli, Gyro Zeppeli. And Zeppeli, that Italian, kind of giving us a vibe of, you know, Golden Wind again. You know, Zeppeli, that's Italian last name, if I'm not mistaken. With these legs only, I will cross the continent and win. This guy here, the fast indigenous runner, Sandman. With these legs, only I will cross the continent and win. So this guy called Sandman, it looks like he is a native, right? Indigenous, that means the native, the people of the land, which means it's probably from the native side of things, like the Indians in America. He is going to be involved in this race, and it looks like he's so skilled that he doesn't need the horse. Or maybe something happened, they took his horse out, and based on the fact that these guys are warriors, you know, they grow up being warriors, hunting, you know, going out, killing lions and, you know, buffaloes, and, you know, they hunt. And I like his design based on the fact that you see the markings of the natives and all these things. I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do. If he's going to be on the good side, or if he's going to play on the bad side. But he is skilled enough and determined to win with his two legs. The guy is a runner, right? He's a Kunta Kinte type of guy. What I need is the money of the white people. Okay? So it's true, I am the real lucky guy. And we see a 1 in 5 billion lucky guy. Pocoloko. Pocoloko. I'm not sure if the voiceover of Pocoloko is going to be Avadul from Stardust Crusader. I'm not sure. I'm going to look into that later. If it's going to be Avadul's voice, I will really, really love it, because Avadul was one of my favorite characters on Stardust Crusader. I really, really enjoyed this character very much. Let's see here. This steel ball run race, man, it's a lot of people, will be a tournament that the world has never experienced before. It's almost like if you guys have watched or played Crash Bandicoot, it's gonna be like the shit is gonna be racked up. People are gonna be, placing traps, for each other and all of that. You can see the damage this is about to do. Amazing. What an unbelievable crowd. The winner of this race will become world hero. A world hero. Now, let's go back. This female. This female, Steve's wife, Lucy Steele. I want to look into this female because she reminds me of, what's her name? From Golden Wind. Develo's daughter. If you guys remember Develo's daughter, let me look up. They look so similar. It's crazy. They look so similar. Am I crazy for thinking that? Trish Una. That's her name. She looks like Trish. She reminds me of Trish Una, except different hairstyle, right? I'm not sure. Yeah, thanks for putting that out there, man. Yeah, she reminds me of Trish Una, Develo's daughter. So I'm not sure if this is. I guess I'm gonna have to wait for the surprise and see what happens. She reminds me of a character. There is another character on Diamonds is Unbreakable that she reminds me of. She reminds me of another character. 1 second, let me look up. Diamond is Unbreakable. She reminds me of someone from that. It's either someone from JoJo's Bizarre. It just I can't place my head on who she definitely reminds me of. I think she either reminds me of the lady Kira was about to kill. Kira killed her boyfriend first of all and was about to kill her, and she said "Tasquete" or something like that. She reminds me of someone, man. I can't see all the. They are not featuring every single character from Diamond is Unbreakable right now. Or they're featuring on. I can just see only the main characters. She was a side character, but I bet you she reminds me of a character. The same look, almost the same hair from a character from either Diamond is Unbreakable or Golden Wind. Both of them, there's a character that looks exactly like her. I'm not sure if it's going to be tied to that in some way, shape, or form. I have got this. 2,000 left. The final sprint. Whoa, 2,000 left. Could you imagine? 2,000 men left to take on. I guess when they began this race, probably there were 3,000 or so, but he's saying 2,000 left. The winning prize is $50 million. Will determine the victor. Run more. 1 second.
バト
制した者に贈られる賞金は5000万ドル。
残された足
Only the legs I've got
だけが勝者
will
の条
determine
件と
the
なる
victor.
もっと癖を
Run more in your own style. Man, Zeppeli, okay, Zeppeli is giving me the same vibe of, what's his name? Damn, I can't believe I forgot his name. From Golden Wind. Joino Giovanna's mentor. Damn, I can't believe I'm forgetting this guy's name. You guys already know who I'm talking about, man. You know who I'm talking about. His name, Bruno Bucciarati. He's giving me Bucciarati's vibe. I don't know why, but he's giving me Bucciarati's vibe right now. You know, he's giving me that Bucciarati mentor. You know, man, Bucciarati was such a badass character. Man, when he died, I wasn't expecting that. You know, man, he was such a mentor, man, to Joino Giovanna.
出して走れジャイロゼベリオ
And do you guys hear that? The reference? Hoorah!
賞金は5000万ドル。
残された足だけが勝者の条件となるもっと癖を出して走れジャイ
Hoorah! All right, David Production. When this anime comes out, I hope you're going to have my Ura 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 or Muda 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 Muda. I hope they gotta add it in here some way, shape, or form. They have to have that. You know, they're going to pay homage to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Ura Ura, Muda Muda, or whatever. You know, they have to pay homage to that. I will be waiting for that.
ロゼベリを指すのはこの情に残された足だけが勝者の条件となるもっと癖を出して走れジャイロゼ
The one passing Gyro
ベ
Zeppelin
リを指すのはこの
is Johnny Joestar. Okay, it looks like Johnny Joestar is about to do some amazing stuff because Zeppeli looks to me like he's going to be a mentor to Johnny Joestar, right? And for the fact that this guy probably, you know, is looking at this and Johnny Joestar is about to beat everybody, and I think he doesn't like that. He's surprised. He's taken by the situation and he's yelling, "Is Johnny Joestar?" It looks like Johnny Joestar is about to wreck shit. March 19th. So, the article that I read told me that it's going to premiere first in Japan on March the 16th. Okay? It's going to premiere March the 16th. So, if you live in Japan, this is a good news for you because you guys will get it first before everybody else. And I will be looking forward to see if I will get the rough copy of it because I'm a fan. And if I get a rough copy, if you have a rough copy of it, please send it to me. I will do a reaction to it, you know, because I mean, why not? You know, as long as it has English subtitle. If it doesn't have English subtitle, please, you know, it wouldn't make sense because I won't be able to really know the details of what is going on. So March the 16th of 2026, if you get the copy of it with English subtitle, you can send it my way. Although between the 16th of March to the 19th of March, it's just a couple of days away. But then again, you know, when the hype goes on, based on the fact that this anime has done such a good job from the first very episode, I was hooked on this show. From the very first episode, I knew I'm going to like this show and I'm never going to turn away from it unless if they do something that I don't agree with or I don't find is not conducive for me. But from the first episode, I knew this is going to be a banger and I have stuck around all the way to now part 7. So Um, March 16th, if you live in Japan, you will get it first before everybody else, and everybody else will get it on March the 19th. The thing is, between March the 16th and March the 19th, that's days. That's 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours upon 24 hours. I'm sure it's going to be leaked. So I'm not sure why they want to promote it on in a certain sector of the world first. I can totally understand. It makes them money and all of that stuff. Just like Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle, it was premiered in Japan first. And I would say, but now they have made billions of dollars on it. I think that strategy, if it works for them, kudos to them. But people are gonna leak it. Just know that right now. People will leak it. It will be leaked. You know? And if it comes my way, I will take care of it. I will watch it because I'm a fan. So with that being said, it's been really fun. It's been fun. This is the seventh season, and most animes now don't, I give kudos. I give kudos to anime that really stick around and keep giving you content. Speaking of animes that give you content, Jujutsu Kaisen, the third season is coming back, and Jujutsu Kaisen is not going to last that long. Black Clover, I'm not sure how long they're going to run for. What other anime? My Hero Academia. Kudos to My Hero Academia that gave us all the way to 8th season. So there are animes that stick around long enough to give you seasons upon seasons. JoJo's Bizarre. I think I've heard that as it stands, they're already on the 9th season, if I'm not mistaken. The 8th season or the 9th season. So there is more content to come on JoJo's Bizarre. So for the fans, hold your horses, stay firm. The genre is going to give you as much content as ever, because I think there is 2 more seasons in the making. So with that being said, let me see if there's any other information that I can grab from the article. Derek said Remy, the ghost girl. I think you might be right. Let me check that out. Remy, the ghost girl. Yes, you're right. But I think there's another character. There is another character. Yeah, she does resemble the ghost girl. That's right. But there's another character. The character that Kira killed after, I think she got into a fight with her boyfriend, or her and her boyfriend was chilling, and Kira sneaked up on them and killed the boyfriend, and she yelled Taskete before Kira killed her or something. I think there's a character from Diamond is Unbreakable that looks like Lucy. The music, you better take a trip to to Japan. Well, I don't think I would be able to take a trip to Japan because I have stuff that I'm doing, you know. Yes, the opening. They're better. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think they will do a good if they put their minds together and put in the good work. I think the opening steel ball run should kind of somehow. I do understand. Again, they're saying that this arc is going to be separate from the first arc to the 6th arc. I don't think that is fair. I know they said that it's going to be separate. It's going to be separated. This is going to be a new stuff that still ties to the family. But I would wish that they would pay homage. All right. They would pay homage to the previous arcs. Kind of showcase in the opening, showcase Joseph, right? Showcase Jonathan, showcase Jolene, Jotaro, Joino Giovanna, right? I hope that they will showcase these guys. And even Brando, because Dio Brando has been the pinnacle of the whole show, from the first one all the way, even to the sixth one, because his reminiscence still carried on till part 6, right? Even gave birth to the new antagonist that caused mayhem. So I'm hoping that they will pay homage somewhat, either in through the opening or in the outro. All right, we need to see that homage, man. I think there is an opening here, a tease that I saw last time. Where is it? Hopefully, I will be able to find it. Yeah, found it. Like a tease. If you guys remember, that was a tease. The first tease that they released was this. Come on! Come on, baby! Come on! I'm gonna play this. This is the homage that I'm talking about. This is a type of homage that I am referring to. You know what I mean? They need to do this somehow, some way, either through the opening or the outro. They need to pay this homage. It's very important. They kind of give you like the countdown of the previous and the timing. So along the line, when the sixth season came out and did its thing around 2011, so with the whole fiasco of the antagonist from the sixth season, the antagonist, the whole fiasco triggered time. And time literally went back to 1890. You see, this is actually an interesting thing now, because based on what it says on the article and seeing this, it makes sense. So are they trying to tell us that after time resetted, time didn't reset all the way from the beginning, all the way to the beginning of time? When that time universe resetted towards the ending of part 6, are they trying to tell us that it resetted all the way to 1890 or something related to it that triggered to 1890? Is that what they're trying to tell us? Because as you can see, what happened here showcased that. You know, but I hope that they're going to tell us enough story on the part 7 to kind of edify the story, you know? They are not just going to show us Johnny Joyster, who is a junkie, and, you know, where is his parents? How did his parents allow him to be a junkie? You know, back in the olden days, you don't see that many junkies around. Now you do. But back in the day, community helps to raise their children or helps to raise kids. You know, kids don't normally come out junkie like that. So if Johnny Joyster ends up becoming a junkie, where is his community? Where is his parents? What happened to him? And when he got shot, that paralyzed him. What really happened? You know, was he, you know, because if you look at Golden Wind, Joino Giovanna really didn't know who he was at the time. He ended up he ended up finding out who he was. And he struggled without a father, without a mother. He just, you know, ended up being a good person. So what happened to Johnny Joyster to turn into a junkie? Did he become a junkie after what happened to him? Or was he already a junkie prior to him getting shot? My guess is, I think he's a junkie prior to the gunshot, because being a junkie leads you into situations like getting shot. I know you can be minding your business and you get shot anyway, or gangs wars or whatever, and bullet hits you when you're minding your business. But being a junkie kind of ties you into crimes. So for the fact that he got shot, I think he was already a junkie to begin with, which I would now ask, where was his parents or his guardian or whatever? What really happened? How did he lose touch of his parents? Or maybe he became an orphan? Who knows? He became an orphan, and yeah, this is interesting, man. I gotta play this again. I have to play this one more time, man. That mask, this damn mask is the beginning of everything. Because it was this mask that turned Dio Brando into a vampire that started to cause the chaos. Of course, before Dio Brando, there were Wamu and the other guy, right? Before Dio Brando, there were others like him, like Wamu, if you remember, Phantom Blood, no, Battle Tendency. Wamu, they lived before Dio Brando, Joseph, they were back in the golden time when people used to worship deities. Wamu and his fellow comrade or whatever, they were different. They were worshipped, right? So this mask, I believe when they were found, this mask was literally close to where they were sealed or whatever, So this mask has been the cause of a lot of things. 1888. All right, here's another theory. This mask or the situation, the Phantom Blood, was 1888. Oh my goodness. The first arc, the timeline, was 1888. Part 7 is 1890. So 88, 89, 1890. 2 years or a year after 1888, we get 1890, which is part 7. Wait a minute. Could the story be that there is a part of 1888 that we didn't know of? There was a story or a timeline in 1888 we didn't know of, because what we do know is Joseph's fiancée or wife died due to, I don't think he died. Did he? Sorry. I don't think she died. Joseph was holding Dio Brando's head, right? Showing his true love to his, to their friendship, even though Dio has done everything in his power to destroy anything Jonathan loves. And even at his death, he showed Dio Brando compassion. The head Jonathan is hugging is Dio Brando. That's Dio Brando right there. That's his head. And I think Jonathan's family survived, if I'm not mistaken. So where is it? Because it's so interesting that part 7 is going to take place 1890. This story, Phantom Blood, and its conclusion happened 1888. That's really interesting. And then we get 1938, which is the time, I think, Battle Tendency. We get Joseph all the way to 1988. And then we get Stardust Crusaders. And then 1999, Diamond is Unbreakable, and 2001 Golden Wind, 2010 or 2011 Stone Ocean, and then time triggers all the way back to 1890, a year plus after the death of Jonathan. Yo, guys, this literally piques my interest. But then again, the article says that it's going to be separate from part 1 all the way to part 6. That's where I'm getting the confusion. Chat, what do you think about this? What do you guys think about this? Because I'm confused, because it kind of makes sense. Did something happen in between 1888 to 1890? Because they're telling us a story. But then again, they're saying that it's going to be separate. This is a separate story. But even if it is a separate story, it's still gonna tie somehow, some way, because the characters, the protagonist, has the last name of Joystars. And then we see Diego Brando, which is the last name of the one and only Dio Brando. So what I don't know, man. What do you guys think, chat? What do you guys think? Am I delusional? Am I in Lululand? I'm trying to put this together. Am I right or am I wrong on what I'm saying? You know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think, man? Am I making this shit up? I think I'm onto something. Maybe there was something that happened after the death of Joseph or before the death of Joseph that triggered or something. I don't know. Because Johnny Joyster wakes up and finds himself in another area or in another time or whatever. I don't know. But anyway. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Something must give. Something has to give here, man. Something really has to give. And it's only a matter of time. So this just piqued my interest even more, because if it's going to be separated from the previous parts or the previous seasons, that means this new part is going to be brand new. New characters that still has the same family last name of the previous characters we know of, but there's going to be attributes that they're going to showcase from their predecessors. You know what I mean? They're going to showcase attributes from their predecessors. There's always been this debate, okay? There is this debate. Is Joino Giovanna Dio Brando's son or Jonathan's son? Let me say it again. You guys are probably going to rack your head a little bit, and some of you guys already know this debate. Is Dio Brando the real father of Joino Giovanna? Or is it actually Joseph? Sorry, not Joseph, Jonathan, the real father of Joino Giovanna. I'm going to put a poll up right now. Because this is a debate. I just like, I'm going to put a poll up. You guys can let me know what you think. Because we really need to, if you really think about it, it's kind of a conundrum. It's kind of an interesting debate. Only the real hardcore fans will understand that this is actually an interesting topic. And at the same time, so is Gioino Giovanna actually Dio Brando's son? Or is he actually Jonathan's son? Okay, we got the pool. Okay, the vote is coming in. Vote is coming in because in 1888, towards the ending of 1888, I think the trailer that we see in 1888 kind of makes sense of everything because Jonathan is hugging Dio's head. Dio lost his body, right? And Jonathan hugged him as compassion, showing him compassion, even though Dio has made it his mission to ruin everything and anything Joseph or Jonathan has built. He tries to ruin his happiness. I remember when they were young, Dio tried to, he how do you say sexual assault now? In short term of it, he kind of assaulted Jonathan's girlfriend, and that caused a big fight between them. And Dio has made it his mission to make sure that Jonathan will not see happiness, even though Jonathan has always shown him friendship and always shown him, grace. But he didn't like that. Dio is just pure evil. He hates to see Jonathan happy. So at the end of Phantom Blood, Dio lost his body, and we then found out, Stardust Crusader let it be known that although Dio lost his body, he used Jonathan's body, and he's been using Jonathan's body ever since their last encounter, which was the reason why every Joestar's family has that mark on their body, right? Every Joestar's descendant got this mark on their body. And Dio has been using Jonathan's body since their last encounter, to the point when Dio had a son, which I don't even know how that happened, but it happened. Dio had a son. He was using Jonathan's body. He used Jonathan's body to have a child. So will you say that because Dio Brando using Jonathan's body to have a kid, whose kid is it? Now, if you say it's Dio Brando, okay? If you say it's Dio Brando's son, I would say you have a point. Why do you have a point? Because the word Dio Brando stand is the essence of Dio. Dio Brando's powers, that's his essence. And due to the fact that Dio is evil incarnate, I would say that the longer he stayed in Jonathan's body, it's going to start changing the chemical reaction, the cosmic reaction inside Jonathan's body, to the point that his evil essence will be dominant, will be the dominant vehicle, right, of Jonathan's body, the DNA and whatever. Because if you understand, Dio is a vampire. And I would say the longer he stayed in that body, the more he has the cosmic control, the essence of what stays in that body. which was the reason why after his defeat, when the sun came up, he burned, right? And he knew that if he goes under the sun, he's going to burn. So if his body is now vampire body, Jonathan wasn't a vampire. Dio, using his body, made his body a vampire, which means the cosmic reaction of Dio and his evil essence turned and changed and corrupted Jonathan's DNA in there. But if you say it got to be Jonathan's son, you're also correct, because Dio was able to sense Jotaro and was able to sense any Joestar's family that he runs into due to what? The mark. That's how he's able to sense Jonathan. And I think he explained it on Stardust Crusaders, right? He was able to sense Jotaro because that imprint, that birthmark they all have, that's how he was able to sense Jonathan or any Joestar's family. He was able, when people thought that Jotaro was dead, he said, no, Jotaro is still alive because I can still sense him. Something like that. So if you put that Jonathan is the father of Joino Giovanna, you're correct. Because so long as that mark is still there, so long as Dio had his body and his body parts and his balls, right? His cojones, and used it to impregnate a female, that's Jonathan's essence too. Now, if you tell me it's both of them, it's both Dio Brando and Jonathan's son, I think I will agree more to that, simply because, yes, I don't think I would say that it's totally Jonathan's son. And I don't think I would say that, simply because Dio has remained the vehicle, like the controller of that body for a long time. And for the fact that his evil is so strong, I would say that it's going to start changing, or it changed some particles of Jonathan's body, thus forcing Dio to stay in darkness, because he can't go outside when it's during daytime. He can't step out because he will burn, and he knows it. So you can say if Dio's essence that changed Jonathan's body, forcing the body to now habit in darkness or during nighttime, that means Dio has taken control of every particles of the body. Because if it's not so, then Dio should be able to go outside without getting burned. Right? He will be able to go out during daytime without getting cooked. But for the fact that he can't go outside during daytime because he's going to be cooked, which means that he has taken refuge. That means Jonathan's body has changed. Dio has taken control of every particle of it. It's now purely, almost purely Dio's essence in there. But then again, you can't really say that simply because that's Jonathan's body, you know? So I will be in the, what I would say is Dio, Joino Giovanna is both Dio Brando's son and Jonathan's son. And I think for a good reason, miraculously, Jonathan, or let me say, Joino Giovanna turned out to be a good person, right? Why do I say that? I think that's Joseph's essence. Why did I say that? If you guys remember, Dio Brando's father was an a-hole. He was nothing good to talk about. He was evil as his son, right? He died having hate in his heart. If we remember Phantom Blood, Dio Brando's father died with a heavy, evilish heart. And Dio took that from his father. It runs in the family. So the fact that Joino Giovanna turned out to be a good person, I would say, is a miraculous essence due to the fact that Jonathan's essence was still there, remains a force that turned Joino Giovanna to be a good person, because he could have easily adopted his father's traits, but he didn't adopt any of his father's characters, right? Again, you can also say it's just because Joino Giovanna lived in a rough neighborhood and saw crimes and whatever. He turned out to be good because of that, but not really. Most of the time, when you grow up in a tough area, it changes you. Sometimes, if you don't defeat the evil that runs around you, the evil will consume you. So I would say that Jonathan's essence is still in that body, which was reason why Joino Giovanna turned out to be a good person. Because due to the fact that he was around crime all the time, seeing all this messed up situation, hunger, famine, it could have easily changed him to be a bad person, but he remained a good person from the first episode all the way to the last episode. So I would say it's a little bit of both. And let's not forget, I would say it's both because he has Dio's hair color, right? Jonathan's father, Jonathan, Joseph, Jotaro, they all had their father's hair color, if I'm not mistaken. They all had the same hair color, right? They all had the same brownish or black hair color. Joino Giovanna has golden color or blonde hair color, which is Dio's hair color. So I would say it's both of them. What do you guys think about that? Am I making sense or am I just speaking gibberish? Let me know, guys. What do you think about it? I think it's an honest debate, an honest discussion to talk about. But with that being said, it's been an interesting topic because I didn't know I was gonna bring that up. But if you're going to watch this live stream after, let me know. I think the concept of whose son is actually Joino Giovanna's, I think it's both of them. I think it's both of them. Because Joino Giovanna has Dio Brando's hair color, but he's a good guy because Joseph's essence was still in the same body. And, that's my take on it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what's up here. I think I want to switch gears. DRKYY. Thanks for bringing that up. Yes, there were Dio Brando's offsprings that came on part 6. I actually forgot about that. You're very right. Let me look that up real quick. Dio Brando's son. Part 6. Yep, there were other Dio Brando's son on part 6. I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up, man. Thanks for bringing that up. And if you look at, hold on, let me pull this up. If you look at their hair colors, let me pull this up. So it wasn't only Joino Giovanna, there were others. And I'm not sure if there were others, again, if there were more of Dio Brando's offsprings, because Dio had a lot of time. You know, at night, that's when, jiggy jiggy happens. At night, that's when jiggy jiggy, even when, for some of you, if not most of you, normally when you bring a woman in, you turn off the light, cut the lights off, and you do your jiggy jiggies. So Dio had a lot of time, and for the fact that he's so powerful, he doesn't come out during daytime. At night, that's when parties, drinking, celebration, alcohol, gatherings, all these things, that's when it happens at nighttime. So you can tell, you can just know for sure that Dio had a lot of time in his hands to have so many children. So looking at these characters already, Joino Giovanna on the right hand side had Dio's, carbon copy hair color, and the one beside Joino Giovanna had a reddish brownish color. The one in the middle or close to the other one had a blonde hair color, just like Joino Giovanna, but a little shade of gold in there. And the other one with a hat, I think I can't really see his hair color, but I think it's either brownish or black, Yeah, Dio had a lot of time. Dio had a lot of time, and we intend to miss that Dio lived from Phantom Blood all the way, okay? From Phantom Blood all the way to Stardust Crusaders. That's like from 18, not even, let's just say when he became evil at 1888. You can just tell from 1888 all the way to, I think, let's look at this. What's going on? I wanted to resize this. From 1888 all the way 1988. From 1888 all the way to 1998. So how many years is that? Let me look that up. It's 1988. Shit. Yo, are you kidding me? From 1888 to 1988, right? That is 100 years. 100 years, ladies and gentlemen. Dio got to have a village by now. Dio got to have had a community, a little community of kids. Those 4 kids or 5 kids that we just saw cannot be the only offspring of Dio Brando. I refuse to believe it, man. I refuse to believe it. Dio has more offsprings out there that are running around trying to find out who they are. These 4 kids cannot be the only essence of Dio. No way, hell no. From 1888 to 1988 is 100 years. 100 years of being so powerful. 100 years of going to gatherings, nightlife, because he can't go out during the day. He goes out at night, having fun, doing jiggy-jiggies, all the jiggy-jiggies, and he's a vampire. He can do jiggy-jiggy as much as he wants in one day, in one night. He can have, 5 women at a time because he's Dio Brando. He has jiggy-jiggy every night. There is no way. There's no way he doesn't have a community by now. 100 years? Yo, 100 years. That's a lot of time. Dio has more offsprings out there, man. He has more offsprings. I'm serious, man. Dio has a community, a little village by now. His offsprings is everywhere. Ain't no way those 4 individuals are Dio's. No, Dio has more sons. He has more kids. 100 years? He doesn't even have to do anything because 100 years he has wealth. He has money. He has gold. He has people working for him. 100 years of basically doing nothing. You don't have to work hard. He just lives a lavish lifestyle, right? And he's not a bad-looking vampire. Dio is a handsome vampire. He's a handsome man. I'm not going to lie. Pause. No homo. All right? No homo. Dio is a good-looking vampire man. No homo. Right? Ladies will not, and again, being a vampire, they have the lure to attract women, right? And he doesn't even have to attract, they will come to him. And remember, when Avadul saw Dio, the very first time he ran into him in an alley, based on Avadul's expression, he said that, looking at him, you sense evil, but at the same time, there's a lure about him. You want to know more about him, but at the same time, you're terrified because you don't know what you don't know what you're looking at. You don't know what you're sensing, but you can tell that you're looking at a beautiful being with weird, twisted energy and aura. For a man, you will run away, but for females, that saying that goes, they like bad guys a lot. They like a guy that is not boring. They like a guy that will give them twists and turns of their life. They will complain about it, talk shit about him, but at the same time, they will go back to the same type of toxic, situation. That's Dio right there. So this man has 100 years to do intimacy, do jiggy jiggy sometimes twice, sometimes I don't need, just do jiggy jiggy all the time. Dio has a little village, but 100 years is not 10 years. One man in a day can literally impregnate, if I'm not mistaken, at least 20 women in a day if he puts his mind to it. Now imagine 100 years of it. Come on. Come on. I think they got to. I think they have to give us more, on Dio Brando's, as if even if they will make a side let's say a side arc. Like if you guys remember, they made there was a side arc, Rohan. I think something spoke or whatever. Something spoke. It was done on Rohan, right? I think they should make a side arc that details Dio Brando's offsprings. I don't know if that will be interesting enough, but I'm sure Dio has a lot of kids. A lot of kids. And Derek said, yeah, there were a couple of them that appeared on part 6. I'm not sure if, again, they're saying that it's separate. Part 7 is separate from the previous parts. This Diego Brando fella, I would like to know how he's related to Dio Brando. How is he related? Because 1888 to 1890 isn't that far off. They are very, very close timeline. So how is he related? And we know Dio has always been traveling, living lavishly, like a king. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We should see what happens, man. Now, guys, it's been amazing. It's been wonderful. If you guys have anything else to add on this live stream, you can give your quick take. If you guys have anything to add on the live stream, give me your quick take before I end it. I have said quite a lot in perspective. I would like to get your perspective. I know a lot of you, or most of you, have said quite a bit, and thank you for giving your input on JoJo's Bizarre Genre. I think from now till March 16th, when it airs in Japan, that is 3 months from now. Okay, that's 3 months from now. I'm not sure if they're going to do a final trailer. Maybe in 2 months from now, maybe a couple of weeks before it airs, they're gonna do a second trailer. If they do, please let me know so that I will talk about it, because they always give information and make you question or wonder and speculate what's gonna happen, especially the fact that I'm not a manga reader. Some of you that reads manga, that have read even past part 7, that are currently in part 8 or part 9 or whatever, you already know what's going to happen. But, it's always a good perspective to give your intake on it without spoiling. I do understand that things do change with anime. Sometimes they put this kind of content out in the manga, but when it comes to the anime side of it, they change things a little bit. So is it going to hold on to its manga, or are they going to change something? One or two things, I don't know. But that's my take on it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, much appreciated. Be sure to check out other content that I have. I did upload a quick take on Blue Lock. Why Blue Lock is changing soccer forever. I bid you to go check it out. You might get some information on Blue Lock if you already if you're not caught on the reason why Blue Lock was created. Please go check it out. You might find or get an information that you are not aware of. Watch Avengers Doomsday trailer. Avengers Doomsday trailer. Let me see. Let me see. See. All right.
Father, all my life, I have answered every call. To honor, duty, to war. But now fate has given me something I never sought. A child. A life untouched by the storm. Lend me the strength of the old fathers, so that I may fight once more, defeat one more enemy, and return home to her, not as a warrior, but as warmth, to teach her not battle, but stillness, the kind I never knew. Please, Father, heed my words.
That's Thor. That's Thor talking. December 18, 2026. Whoa. I don't think this will be the only trailer they're going to display, because December, from now till December 18, that is 11 months away. You know, I think every two months or every 3 months, they're going to come out with a new trailer that captivates certain sides of the movie. Maybe this first trailer is about Thor. The next trailer is probably going to be about someone else, and another character, right? And then another character and another side of the situation. So I don't think this will be the last trailer. And Chris Hemsworth, one thing I like about him is the fact that he takes his character very, very seriously. And over the years, he has put in a great amount of work on that character, Thor. And he's always stayed in shape. You know, I think he gives this vibe like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, The Rock, who's I'm a fan of. You know, no matter what year, no matter what time, no matter what season, they are always in shape. And that's the motto that I take, because I live just like that. Any season, no matter the season, no matter the time, always in shape, always in good physical health, always, you know, taking care of myself, so that at any point, whatever it's demanded or whatever is required, it won't be a big job for me to get in shape. If you see some movie stars or superheroes, after the movie is done, right? after they play the character, they go back slacking. They add weight. Vin Diesel, fat ass, you know, but when it's movie, they go, they get in shape, they start working out, but there are characters or actors where from year to year, they stay in shape, and that's how it should be. Someone like Chris Hemsworth, who really puts a great amount of work in the character and his body, getting in shape won't be a problem, and which is the reason why he's a testament to that character, simply because he has honed that character, and I don't think there's anybody who can play it better than him. He takes it seriously, he puts in the work, the great amount of skill, to do what he needs to do. You know what I mean? The Rock is the same. No matter the movie, he's always in shape, in great shape, doing his thing. Jason Statham, I can go on and on. But there are some characters, even Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman, shout out to him. I don't think there's anybody who can play Wolverine better than him. But when the movie is done, he intends to slack off and he will lose skinny. He will still be in shape, but he won't be muscular. He won't be cut and defined like he is in the movie, right? When the movie calls, he goes to get in shape. I think actors should stay in shape no matter what season it is, no matter if they're acting or if they're not. But again, workout, healthy life living, exercise is not for everybody. Some people, they like to, slack off and, just do their thing. They hate to work out, right? If they have to work out, you have to pay them. Example, like Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is the type of guy that, he has his height, he has his physique, but when he's not acting, he doesn't want to touch weights. You have to pay him in order for him to lift weights, right? But the thing is, when he puts in work, but it shouldn't be like that. But there are some people who are, they don't like to work out. They don't like the hurt and the pain going to the gym, putting your body into strenuous pressure, your muscle is hurting, you're tearing muscles, you're tearing something, and some people are not built like that. They don't like to. And again, I can't shit on them because that's just who they are. They don't like to work out. If they have to work out, you have to pay them or they have to get in shape. But there are some people, no matter the year, they're always in shape. Always in shape. So, yeah, kudos to Chris Hemsworth for putting a great body work over the years. Since the first Thor all the way to now, he's always in shape. In fact, he looks even better. Every year, he's even looking better and better. And that's how he should be, man. That's how he should be. That's a testament to people that really takes their physical health, fitness lifestyle seriously. Because health is wealth. When you're looking like crap, you don't take care of yourself, you're drinking, you're slobbing, slobby and all these things, it forces the deterioration of your health. You know what I mean? So Chris Hemsworth has really embodied Thor character and has stayed in shape. No matter what Thor version, no matter which movie, he's always in shape, right? And I think as he ages, he's even getting better. I saw his muscle. I saw how much muscle gain, that he has. I saw it. He looks great. And every now and then I bump into his videos on Instagram where he's always doing calisthenics or he's lifting weights or, something. The same as The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He's always at the gym. And that's, when you do that enough, it becomes part of you. I don't understand how people to do a movie, they get in good shape, and after the movie, they slack off. I thought when you do that, it becomes part of you. You are passionate about it and you're fired up to always, always go and train. You know, I guess some people, even if they do it to get paid, after that, they go do, live their life the way they want to live their life. They don't like to work out. Jason Momoa is a testament to that. He doesn't like to lift weight, but he's a good, I do like his character. I love all his movies, I love his movies, but the guy, from what I've heard, he doesn't like to work out. He doesn't like to work out. He likes to just chill, throw out, relax, and just enjoy his life. So, oh, I missed the first trailer. I saw the second trailer. Okay. Well, it's all good. I don't have to see another trailer. It's all good. I get the point. I get the point. Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. I think it's gonna break records. I get this feeling that it's going to break records simply because of Robert Downey Jr., who is going to play Doomsday. His character in Iron Man was very well done. He did a very good job as Iron Man. And now that Iron Man has been killed off, he took on Doomsday and he's going to play Doomsday character. I'm not sure if during this Doomsday movie, if Iron Man will, showcase himself again, maybe a different Iron Man, I don't know. I haven't really read that much into Marvel movies. All I know is Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Doomsday. That's his new character. Iron Man has been killed off, so I'm not sure if we will ever see Iron Man again or Iron Man movie again, unless if they're going to reboot it. And for that to happen, it's going to take a long time. It's not going to happen anytime soon. So, yeah. Spider-Man, A Brand New Day is scheduled for July. Okay. Yeah, Spider-Man movies has always done a very good job, and I'm a fan of Spider-Man movies. They've always done a good job with Spider-Man movies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming in to the live chat, to the live stream. I will be seeing you guys in the next video. What is coming up next? I did a reaction on what's its name last night. I did a reaction on Code Geass. I guess my involvement with Code Geass would depend on how many or how much interaction I get with the video. It's going to depend on how much support the first video gets. I did episode 1 to 4 yesterday. So guys, go support it. If I get enough support on Code Geass, the first episodes, I will continue it. Or I'm going to wait for the new animes that are coming out because I think January 4th and January 8th, there's going to be either Hell's Paradise or Jujutsu Kaisen coming out early January. So I might just wait for that. And yeah. So on that note, guys, thank you for coming in. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, share, check out my membership content. If you like other stuff, other real life situation other than animes, check out the membership content. I'm offering other extended contents aside from anime in the membership. You can support. Membership gets a lot of news on what it's coming up, and there's a lot of discussion going on there on upcoming videos and upcoming stuff. I think Swag came into the live stream yesterday and requested to do Code Geass. I did 4 episodes. So let me know if you guys are into Code Geass. If you want to see more of it, let me know in the comment section. And there's a versus battle that is coming up. I'm not sure when I'm going to do that video or when it's going to come out. We'll see how things goes this week. If it doesn't come out this week, then it will be next week, because I have a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, peace out, guys, and enjoy. Once again, Happy New Year to each and every one of you. Hope you're enjoying your day off. Hope you're having a good time with your loved ones. And blessings to each and every one of you, man. And see you in the next video. Adios.